Alright, I've been sitting on these 2 episodes for... well, 2 episodes. You're only watching one. We're already off to a terrible start. Anyway, I've been sitting on this episode and the one that will follow it for far too long. It's time to finally do something about it. If Johnny Cash can fight an ostrich and lose, then I can wrap up DBZ Kakarot. That's a real thing, by the way. Johnny Cash got in a fight with an ostrich and lost. Anywho, so here's everyone's favorite DBZ character, a farmer with a shotgun. Much more popular than a farmer without a shotgun. It's fucking stupid. So there's Raditz McGee, or whatever we're calling him, with his crazy hair. I knew a girl in high school who had hair like that, kind of. Not quite as exaggerated, but something along the lines of that. Wonder how she's doing. But anyway, Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, so if you're wondering what he meant by that, because you haven't seen DBZ in 2021 somehow, the whole idea of DBZ is that Goku was sent to Earth as a wee babe with the intent to destroy it, but he did not do so, and instead he made friends with all the people. And so that's basically his origin story. So that's all for Farmer with a Shotgun. He served his role well. He was indeed a farmer, and he did indeed own a shotgun. Rest in peace. I feel like gun characters couldn't really, be a thing in cartoons these days. Everybody's so gosh darn sensitive about that, since there's a greater likelihood that a lunatic is going to break into your workplace and kill you. So that's why they don't have guns in the media as much. Okay, so we have switched over to Greenie McGee, and we gotta go fly around. Everybody in DBZ can fly. Even Hercule. They gave him a jetpack in the video games for that exact reason. Because canonically he couldn't fly because he was just a normal man. Look at that. I'm surprised my capture card can keep up when we go that freaking fast. We got a robot from the Red Ribbon Army. You know, the Red Ribbon Army wasn't really as prevalent in Z as it was in Ball. Forgive me if I brought this up already. These episodes are recorded very far apart. But anyway, yes, nowhere near as prominent, except in the Cell Saga, when there was like a throwaway line in there about how the androids were produced by the Red Ribbon Army. And they also had the Red Ribbon insignia printed onto their sleeves. And that was pretty much the full extent of that group's involvement in the show. Okay, so we just got a few random encounter enemies. Just a few of these randos we gotta wail on before we get to the cool big boss battle with lots of flying around and flashy lights and what have you. I knew somebody back in the day who had a toy of this robot that we're fighting. Oh, they're teaching us a new move. Look at that. A cool lock-on. It's not a DBZ game without the Energy Blast volley. You know, when you think about the show itself, did the Energy Blast volley ever actually achieve anything? Because it got used a lot, but they would always just do the same thing with it. The character being, targeted by all the Energy Blast would just get covered in a puff of smoke, and then they'd be standing there with their hands on their hips afterward, completely undamaged by the Energy Blast volley. I mean, it's been a while since I've last seen DBZ, but I don't think the Energy Blast volley ever actually was used to hurt another character.
So it wasn't Kakarot after
You're not Kakarot. You're not Mikiru-chan. There was a thing I got once where I imported a save file. Okay, I should probably let the characters talk.
If that's true, then what are you even doing here? You got a death wish?
You've got spunk.
You got spunk. You got moxie, kid. You're gonna go far in Hollywood.
A power level of 322.
I feel like there was some Hollywood director that said that at some point. Maybe it was like Steven Spielberg. You know, there was a character on the Powerpuff Girls once who was supposed to be like a parody of Steven Spielberg, and like his Hollywood mannerisms just kind of weirded everybody out, and they didn't understand his jokes. It's like he was sitting at a table and he was like, so I was going like this, and then he waves his arms in the air, and then I was going like this, baby, and he expects everybody to laugh, and everyone just looks kind of creeped out and they don't say anything. Yeah, that was funny. I kind of feel like that in a sense, because nobody ever gets my jokes. Why don't people get my jokes? Am I on the spectrum? Is that it? People on the spectrum often realize fairly early in life that their sense of humor does not match that of other people. But anyway, I kind of got off track with the whole... Earlier I mentioned, you're not Mikiru-chan, and that was a reference to this one game where you could import other people's save files off the internet, which I did, and whoever had the save file originally, they made all of their greetings very, very weeb-esque. I don't even know which anime they were referencing, and one of their greetings was, you're not Mikiru-chan. Anyway, if someone could fill me in as to what anime that was referencing, that would be good. So a moment ago when Piccolo raised his arms up into the air to do that blasting move, you know, I guess it's just kind of a common theme throughout the series for Piccolo to raise the roof, as it were. I feel like he did that on Namek at some point too, and there was a cut of the theme song at one point that had him raising his arms up in the air, and he did that quite often in the earlier seasons. Yeah, it's coming back to me. When he first arrived on Namek, his home planet, and he was overcome with joy, and he raised his hands up towards the heavens in celebration. And yeah, that's a thing that he does. You gotta raise the roof, as the cool hip-hop people say. I like the face he's making. He was so stunned. You got a cool lens flare going? Lens flares are cool, I guess. Did I ever tell you about the time when I saw the DBZ Revival of F movie in theaters? I don't know why they called it Revival of F and not a Revival of Frieza. I think that would have been much more clear. Anyway, I didn't like the movie. It was the first time I had ever seen, well, I guess first and only time I had ever seen a DBZ movie in theaters, and I guess since it was in theaters, my expectations were a lot higher. Thought it was going to be like a celebration of the series, when in fact it was basically just 4 episodes of the show stapled together in a movie theater. Okay, I'll let the characters talk. If they say something funny, I'll interject.
You've grown. You look just like our old man.
You look just like an old man. And then it pans back to him and he's like 200 years old. I miss my wife.
Life on this planet. What have you been doing all this time?
Huh? Who are you? And who's Kakarot? Should I know who that is?
He doesn't know his Saiyan name. Is there a, I'm not sure if I should say this. There's something I want to say about the whole Saiyan name thing, but I don't know if that's okay to say. Well, maybe I've given you enough information to figure out where I was going with this.
You're lying. That can't be true.
No, it can't be true. I could fly if I wanted to. Like a bird from the sky, something, something, and something. I could fly. Clearly I will go. I'm just disrupting the dialogue at this point. There is no value to what I'm saying. Did you recognize what that song was from, by the way? It was Toy Story. That one was scored by Randy Newman. How old is Randy Newman? He's got to be getting up there. He was already an old man when he did the score for Toy Story, and that was 30 years ago practically. Oh, saying that just fills me with dread. Toy Story came out almost 30 years ago. That does not sound right. Jeez Louise, the time is a fire in which we all burn.
Well, I couldn't even if I wanted to. Because Planet Vegeta was
Okay, when do we get to punch him? When do we get to crack that stupid green Google Glass on his face? Yeah, Google Glass never really took off, did it? Seemed like it was gonna be the next big thing, but maybe it was too expensive or something. Maybe they'll bring it back someday when the tech gets cheaper. I mean, it's kind of a neat idea. Having like a heads-up display as you go about normal life. You talk to your chiropractor and it has like a scan that tells you your chiropractor's political affiliation and how much of a threat he represents to you. And I don't know, I'm just spitballing cool ideas for the future here. I never could get the hang of this combat system. As previously mentioned, I was too trained on the Tenkaichi games, as I played them very often as a teen, and I'd try to tell my friends about them and they wouldn't care. Most of them would just blow me off, and the polite ones would at least pretend to care, even though they didn't really understand what I was talking about. Gosh, I had a lonely youth. Okay, so Raditz was no threat to us, but he's got other tricks up his sleeve. Okay, we leveled up, I guess. I feel like they really overcomplicated this in a sense. Well, I guess the Tenkaichi games had a level up system as well, where you had items you could equip for each stat, but it was never too in your face like this. Oh, hell no. I know he ain't taking SpongeBob away. I don't know. I'm too addicted to those SpongeBob memes, and I was trying to apply it to this situation where it isn't relevant.
Don't even think about trying to be a hero.
There he goes. Oh, there he go.
No!
What on earth are we gonna do? Whatever is a poor wallaby to do, as they say in Raku's gaming tragedy. Okay, let the cutscene talk.
Alright, I'm off. It's now or never.
You're as good as dead on your own.
And they're gonna... Oh yeah, I guess the characters are still afraid of Piccolo at this point, since he was considered villainous in Dragon Ball. That was a holdover from Ball that fell apart fairly quickly. And then again, they briefly brought it back up in the Majin Buu saga for like one line, as there was something about a Piccolo had to change his name to Junior in the World Tournament, because the crowd goers would panic if they knew that Piccolo was there. I'm earning myself some real nerd points for knowing that. Knowing about Junior. That's not even the name they used in the English dub of the anime. The English dub of the anime, they called them Demon Junior, and Junior was from the Japanese version, I believe. Yeah, I bet you're impressed that I know that. So anywho, episode 2 of DBZ Kakarot should be coming up soon.